Hello and welcome to The Adult Life, where we give you the tools to be a happy and healthy adult. My name is Simi and I'm the adult in charge. So yes, I know it's been a long time and I'm sorry, I really am. I bought my new property and I just got really excited about doing up the place and buying stuff, and I just fell off the video thing. So right now I'm in my new living room in my new house, and honestly I don't really think that this is the best place to shoot a video. I haven't really gotten a new place that I want to use, but I think what I'll be doing is taking videos around the house and I'll choose a place based on the feedback from you guys. So this video is going to be about my goals for 2022, but also a review of what happened in 2021. So 2021 was definitely a lot better than 2020. A lot of the goals that I brought over from 2021, I was able to actually complete and do a lot with them. So it definitely was one of my best years so far. One of my biggest goals was buying my property, which I was able to do. So that just blew everything else out of the water, and it would have been a success, even if that was the only thing I managed to do last year. So right now I'm going to take you through a review of everything that happened in 2020, and then I'll also take you through that particular goal and the next steps for that goal if I manage to complete it or whatever. So I already have a video on how I set my goals, so if you want to see that you can check it out. I'll link it up above and probably in the description below. And one of the things that I always say when you're planning your goals is that you should have a theme for your goals so that everything can kind of align. So this year's theme is actually risk. And funny enough, it's not going to align with a lot of the goals that I have for the year just because they don't need to be risky. But I do think that as a person, I need to take more risks for myself. So I will be doing a lot more risky things, going out more, doing things that kind of push me out of my comfort zone. And then also with my finances, I want to take more risks with that too. So that's what I'll be doing. So at the moment, I don't really know how to plan or track this. So we'll see how it comes along. I'll keep you guys updated if I do find a way. But I'm really excited for what it's going to bring for me this year. So my 2022 goals. My first one was to learn how to drive. And you guys know just how close I was to be able to taking my test. But unfortunately, because of the lockdowns and postponements, I wasn't able to. Unfortunately, the last time it was postponed, I wasn't able to find an instructor because my old one had retired. So I had to cancel that test and I have to book another one. At the moment, it's a bit crazy because so many people have had their tests delayed that there aren't really many at the moment. And also I haven't been able to find an instructor. If I don't do my theory before February, I'm gonna have to take it again, which is annoying because it's really not my fault that I haven't been able to take the test. So that's very frustrating, but you know what, needs must. So I am planning to find another instructor and before the, let's say, middle of the year, have passed my test. If I find one, obviously. I don't actually need a car. I live in London. I'm very close to lots of transport links, so I don't really need one, but I want to be able to have the opportunity to drive if I need to and not be stuck to public transport. So my next goal was keeping up with the Ramsays. So I really wanted to learn how to cook lots of different Asian dishes and also to learn how to cook some Nigerian dishes in bulk. And this is one of the goals that I really think has been a resounding success. I really learned a lot of recipes from Thai, Korean and Chinese origin, and I've got the ingredients that I need and be able to stock up, and I cook those quite regularly, at least once or twice a week now. And for my Nigerian recipes, I was able to cook them in bulk, so a lot more portions than I'm used to, and they were really good and delicious. So definitely a really good goal that I've completed. But the next step, I think, is to go back to basics on Italian. So Italian was one of the first cuisines I learned how to cook, but recently I haven't really been enjoying the Italian dishes I'm cooking, so I really want to get back to basics and then learn how to cook it again from scratch. And then also my vegetables, I don't like vegetables and I'm an adult, I know, so I have to eat them. So I found a few that I enjoy and I tried some new ones like butternut squash. I really didn't enjoy it. So I'm gonna have to find some new ones that I can incorporate into my existing recipes. Something else I need to do is to cut down on waste. So if you live alone like I do, I'm sure you'll find that some of the ingredients that you buy that don't really have a long shelf life end up going off before you can use them. And obviously that's not good for your pocket because it means you're wasting money, but it's also not good for the environment as well. So it's something that I want to be able to get a handle on. So whether it's meal planning or finding a way to use different recipes with the same ingredients so that I can use it before it goes off, or by freezing things earlier or things like that. I just really want to get a handle on the amount of waste I have at home. So my next goal was about decluttering and delegating. And I kind of struggled a bit with this. So for the cleaner that I wanted to get, I got one, but unfortunately she had to move away and I haven't been able to find one in my area since then. It was really good while it lasted. I really enjoyed having somebody to clean semi-regularly. So it was just once every 2 weeks, just to do like a deep clean, and I kept on top of the light cleaning. It was really good for my back, but I have to find another one now, which it's a bit of a struggle, but hopefully I'll find one soon. And then also doing the 5-minute rule was a really good way to help keep my house in good shape and not having to kind of leave everything to a Saturday or a Sunday where I would do all the chores for like 3 hours at once. So yeah, I'm going to continue doing that for this year. The decluttering, however, was a mess. So I thought that moving to a new place, I'd be able to declutter a lot of my stuff before bringing it over here. But I found that I was more like, oh, but I might need this, I might need that. And I didn't let anything go. So I wanted to declutter maybe 15, 20 items, and I only decluttered 3, which is terrible. So this year, I know all the things I didn't wear, the things that I didn't even want to wear, and the things that I maybe could have worn, but still didn't wear it, and give those away to charity or throw them away if I can't wear them anymore. Same things for items in my household. I have a lot of stuff that I brought that I thought I would need, but then on second thoughts and looking at it, I don't actually need it. So I'll be throwing all of that stuff away too. So hopefully this house is going to be the minimalist haven that I always wanted it to be. So now we move on from my personal goals to my financial goals. Now everybody knows that my #1 financial goal for last year was to buy a property, and I did that. So yeah, that's great. So I bought my property and I've also managed to furnish at least half of it. I did get into debt doing that, and I realized that if I continued in that way, I would get into a lot of debt with nothing to show for it. So instead, I just bought the essentials like my sofa, my bed, my TV, and I said that anything else and any other furniture that I wanted to get, I would save up for it, which is what I'm going to do. So to continue my goal of buying a property last year, this year I want to finish buying all the furniture that I want, so save up for it and then buy it, and then just have it be what I envisioned and not need to buy anything major for it for next year. Something else that I wanted to do was to be able to save £6,000 and also overpay 1% of my mortgage. So I just about made the £6,000 in savings, but I didn't quite make the 1% overpayment of my mortgage. So I think I got to about 25% of that, which isn't terrible, but I want to do more for this year. Another financial goal is that I want to grow my net worth to £100,000. Now that's going to be very funny, because I don't earn up to £50,000 and my current net worth is less than £50,000. So I have a lot to make up, but I also have some plans on how to do that. So some of that is saving £500 a month. I also want to up my pension percentage to 15% from both me and my employer. And I also want to diversify my investment portfolio. So that's not just investing in funds. I also want to invest in crypto as well. So adding a bit of risk to my investment portfolio, but also the funds that I'm investing in, some of them will be a lot more risky than I'm used to. So it will be diversified. So some will be in safe investments or safer investments, and some will be in more risky investments, just to try and get a good mix of everything. And then also for my investments, I want to have at least 6 months worth of my salary invested to have a good foundation to build on. I already have some investments, so yeah, it shouldn't be too hard to do that. We'll see, because some of these things, you know, they sound a bit easier on paper, but then the practical is a bit harder. And now onto my work goals. So last year, all I really wanted to do was maintain the certifications I already had. So I had the Prince 2 and the PMP. PMP I don't need to maintain until 2 years time, but Prince 2 I have to do every year. So I maintained last year's. And then my goal for this year was to get another one, Certified Scrum Master. And I've actually done that already. There was a seminar in the 1st and 2nd of January. And I thought, you know what? That's right at the beginning of the year. Let's start the new year with a bang. So I got my Scrum Master certification, and I still need to maintain my Prince 2 for this year, so I'll be doing that as well. Something else I want to do is to up my level of seniority. So right now I'm just a project delivery manager, I really want to get to senior. So that's going to mean that I have to ask for more responsibility, I have to show that I'm capable at work, I have to do more things, and the certification is part of it, but it's not just the only part. Something else I wanted to do was take some courses online. Now this is already a prerequisite to maintain my certification, so I have to do it anyway, but I also think for my own self I should take these courses to upskill, and it will help me in my quest to be a senior delivery manager, but then also help me just feel a lot more confident about myself and about the skills that I have. And obviously, if I become a senior, that means a lot more money, which means that will in turn help my financial goals and my net worth, and so all of these things are kind of intertwined. So if you do well in one, you're more likely to do well in another. And then we have YouTube. So I already know that this one has failed woefully. Spoke about it, and I'm going to be better this year for sure. So I'm going to bring the goals that I had for last year forward, but then I'm also going to increase them as well. I would be very sad if I didn't at least meet last year's goals, because I think I could have actually made them last year if I'd been consistent. So now I'm going to try and build on the dregs of the consistency that I had before and see if I can excel and do even better than I originally thought. And then my last goals are my health and fitness goals. So one of the main things I wanted to do was to walk 3,000 to 5,000 steps a day. Unfortunately, Fitbit doesn't have a yearly log, or if they do and you know how, if you could let me know, that'd be great. But I managed to average about 4,000 steps a day, which is okay. But one of the things I realized is that if I did a daily walk, I would be able to hit those goals, get to 7,000 in the morning, and then the rest of the day I could get to the 10,000. So that's something I'm going to start again. Something else I wanted to do was intermittent fasting, and I finally got back on that. So I'm eating my twice a day within a certain window, and that's working quite well for me. And then we have exercise. So I bought the mat, bought the resistance bands, bought the dumbbells, and I didn't use any of it. So I've realized that I'm not the kind of person who thrives exercising from home. I really need to go outside, be in a class with people, and then we all encourage each other. So what I'm going to do is find a class near me that I enjoy. I've looked for dance classes and I haven't really found any, but maybe aerobics or whatever else people do. I'll see if I can join a club and do that, and hopefully that will be enough to maintain a good level of fitness. Like, I don't want to be the next Iron Man or whatever. I just want to be fit and healthy, and just be healthy internally as well. So as long as I can do something a few times a week, I think that'll be good enough. So those are all of my goals for 2022 and my review of 2021. So I think in general, I did a good job with 2021. Obviously there's some parts where I fell short, and that's what I'm going to address this year. And the parts that I did well in, I'm going to build on those this year. So with some perseverance and discipline, I should be able to do a good amount of what I planned for myself this year, especially the risky part, which like I said, wasn't really found in most of my goals, but in my finances, and then obviously in my relationships and just my day-to-day life, I do want to be a bit more risky and go out of my comfort zone and enjoy myself a bit more. So those are my 2022 goals. I hope you've enjoyed looking through them with me, and I hope that we can be buddies and go through our goals together and hopefully reach everything that we've planned for. Well, that's all for this video. Until next time, see ya!